Hello everybody, I'm Gwen Campbell-Mindes. Welcome to Gwen's Bookish Ramblings. And today I get to feed my inner fangirl because you never forget your first fandom. And, so in spite of the fact that this dates me tremendously, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was my teen years. Some people like to talk about how, oh, Harry Potter was my childhood. I didn't have any particular work of fiction, book or no, that was my childhood. I had the books that I liked more than other books, and I had the TV shows that I liked more than other TV shows, but I didn't have any defining childhood fiction. Buffy was my defining teenage years fiction. I loved that TV show. There was a time when I could recite along with episode after episode from the first season. There were sectors of time when if you asked me what Buffy was wearing in a given scene, I could probably have dredged up an answer for you. So, of course, not shockingly, I bought the tie-in novels. I've done one before. You may remember Blooded, and that was done a while back, but I have more of these. And when I'm feeling in a rush, I will probably go for these books in the same way that I reach for other easy, quick fiction. Because Buffy was important to me. Not that I wanted to be Buffy, because I always felt that I had more sense than to want to be Buffy, or want to be Willow, or indeed anyone else on that show. But I loved that show. Until about season 5 when the plot device arrived and I got very, very sick of it very, very fast. So this book is set in Buffy season 3. So we're past season 1, which was only 12 episodes and a mid-season replacement and was basically all about introducing the universe. We're past season 2, which was all about the Buffy and Angel angst show as Angel lost his soul and tried to murderize and torture everybody. And all of us who were big Buffy Angel shippers became very, very irate with Joss Whedon, especially after Angel got sent to hell. Season 3 was all about the aftermath. It was about picking up the pieces and just dealing with how you deal with it when everything has fallen apart on you, which it had for Buffy. So, this book, though, isn't about that. This book starts off talking about a theme that is repeated throughout the Buffy series in different ways, again and again, and that's a theme related to Xander and the fact that Xander isn't special. I mean, putting aside the everybody special stuff that nobody should listen to, and putting aside the fact that Xander was best friends with an incredibly smart woman and a superhero, and the superhero's, mentor and stuff, which usually makes a person pretty special in some ways, but Xander wasn't, he didn't have magic, he didn't have superpowers, he wasn't a supernatural who's it. He was just a guy. And that was something that cropped up again and again. It cropped up in the very first episode when Xander's all, we'll saddle up, right? And Buffy looks at him with something like pity and says, there is no we. I'm the Slayer, and you're not. And Xander takes it badly to mean that he is less, that he's less of a man, which was kind of a problem with his character at certain points in time. But it was something that cropped up, it cropped up during the second season periodically. It cropped up in the third season in that episode where he saved everybody from zombies who were trying to blow up the school, because zombies do that kind of thing in Sunnydale. Zombies in Sunnydale are a lot smarter than zombies in other places. I mean, there was that one episode with the zombies where they weren't, but then there was this episode with the zombies where they were, which was a thing. So, yeah, I've been talking for 5 minutes and you have no idea what this book is about. it starts with Xander wanting to believe he's gotten psychic powers. And that's how our villainess gets him. Because he wants to be special. And so when he gets hit with a moment of intuition where he has that gut intuition moment that I think a lot of people get at some point in their lives, where you just process something faster than everyone else, and it's like a supernatural predictive ability, but it isn't really. It's just that you were better at processing whatever was oncoming than everyone else. But Xander wants it really badly. He wants to have something. He wants to be able to say that he's psychic, so he can predict the future, so he can help Buffy with his supernatural woo-woo powers, because he's the only one without them. And so when a traveling artist who has showed up for the Sunnydale Sidewalk Art Festival, where Buffy's mother is basically sort of running a festival in Sunnydale where everybody is supposed to sort of, you know, set out their art and everybody, and it'll be a, you know, like a crafts show only for artists. When Justine shows up and tells him that he's bleeding psychic power everywhere, he's just desperately eager to believe it because it's something that he wants. And it means that the others who are aware that Xander has this problem, you know, when they try to be nice about it and not say, Xander, you're being an idiot about it, he sees through them. The problem is that it's one of those situations where they can't say bluntly to him the truth because they're nice people and they don't want to be hard on him. And so they can see that he's just desperate. And Xander, in the meantime, can see that they're lying through their teeth about, you know, what the possibilities are. And so it drives him away, and partway through the book, nobody suspects nearly as much as they should, precisely because it's only to be expected that somebody who's had their feelings as hurt as Xander has by this combination of dismissal and pity, that they don't realize that Xander's gone missing until it's way too late. So Doomsday deck. This relates to a concept of a woman who is building giant tarot deck paintings, and what she's going to do is to basically suck the souls of people into those paintings to build a super scary tarot deck. And then her plan is to then, with all of the souls of these people powering it, that she will be able to not merely predict the future, as tarot is supposed to do, but will be able to change it. And this book references Kali, the Kali Durga, who is an Indian goddess of destruction and death. And that may seem slightly unusual until you understand that gypsies, the Romani, who are one of the people well known for things like tarot decks, are actually, historically, people have traced them around and have found that where gypsies actually seem to come from, where the Romani seem to come from, is somewhere in the Asian subcontinent, somewhere in India. So in spite of the traditional belief of various medieval cultures that the gypsies are a lost Egyptian tribe driven out by something to do with Jesus, based on various cultural and linguistic markers of the Romani's culture and language, they appear to have come from somewhere in the Indian region of Asia. And so, oddly enough, the reference to Kali in this is not completely outre. Um, but that being said, I don't know all that much about Romani culture, and so the only reason I know anything about this at all was some incidental Googling related to other things that was done about a year ago. So, that's totally incidental Googling. Um, so what happens is that Justine is actually being used by the evil goddess of, death and destruction, who, given the state of the Buffy universe, may actually just be a demon. It's never quite clear, but it doesn't really matter, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. But she's just being used by this power in order to end the world, destroy the universe. Not that she knows it, because this is the classic deal where the deal maker thinks they're getting one thing, and it doesn't occur to them that somebody who would give them this power to control life, the universe, and time, and everything is probably not quite as nice as, you think they are. So what happens then is that Justine manages to suck up Xander's soul and stuffs it into a painting, and sucks up Willow's soul and stuffs it into a painting, and sucks up Oz's soul and stuffs it into a painting. And Anya manages to run around throughout this entire book making a nuisance of herself in that incredibly awkward way that she did during the third season of Buffy. Because, honestly, Anya, during the third season of Buffy, from the time that she popped up until all the way through to the end of the season, was kind of an incredibly awkward, just there sort of character. I can't speak to the realism of it. I can just speak to the fact that she was just kind of there. And that's what she is in this book, really just kind of existing. So in the end, Buffy has to fight for her life against Justine, who calls upon the power of Kali, and they have a fight to the death inside of the painting. Until she manages to snap Justine out of it, making Justine realize exactly what's going to happen. Buffy manages to win, escape the paintings, destroy the paintings, thus saving Willow, Xander, and Oz from a comatose death. And then Justine gets sucked into hell along with Kali, because, when you're the when you are the avatar of an evil god and you lose, that usually happens because evil gods don't tend to take well to people who offer to be their avatars and then lose. I quite enjoyed this book, but it has some scattershot qualities. It has some qualities of paying attention to all the things that are going on in the third season. It's got that awkward insertion of Angel into this book, because Buffy is still having her back and forth, will we, won't we, should we, shouldn't we, with Angel. And so he's there, but he's kind of there so that people know that she knows, so that we can locate this book in time. Anya is there, but she's there admittedly, she's there in the same way she was during the third season, kind of just awkwardly in existence, as everybody sort of watches her walk by and goes, in 1120 years, you didn't learn how to talk to people without something resembling tact? And, Cordelia's there and angry in that way that she was after Xander and Willow wound up cheating on her and Oz, respectively. But none of them is... It's kind of this awkward placement of they exist, and so let's make sure they're there, rather than really being integral to the story. They're made integral in a kind of a forced way. But that being said, I'm actually out of time, so I'll see you all next week.